After being subjected to hurtful comments and memes about his appearance, the actor Robert Rhodes has taken to social media, calling for better language to be used for people with visual differences.
Yeah, Robert, who plays Silver Dennis in the hit series House of the Dragon, was born with a rare facial birthmark and left with scarring after multiple surgeries to remove it as a child.
Now he's speaking out about comments online describing his face as deformed, to which he replied that he's not incorrect or half-formed, he's just a bit different.
Well, Robert joins us now, along with Heather Blake, who is Chief Executive of the charity Changing Faces. Morning to you both. It's so good to have you here.
Good morning.
Robert, talk to me first of all about that online chat. I mean, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But you've tried to turn this into a way that you can raise awareness and change perception.
This is the thing. When life gives you scars, make scar an aid. That's what I like to think. So essentially what I'll start by saying was I was born with a really rare birthmark, which was called a congenital melanocytic nevus. So the best way to describe that is kind of like an eyebrow that stretched all over my left face around here. And yeah, it just kept growing essentially. And when I was very young, the doctor said there was a chance of it turning malignant. So we started having it removed, and I think I've had around 48 operations on my face in my lifetime.
Wow, yeah.
So this situation that happened, essentially the show was released and there were obviously, as unfortunately you have to expect in society, some harsh comments and cruel memes going around that kind of didn't come my way, and some of the fan accounts had taken it upon themselves to step in as allies, which was really lovely of them. However, there was a very unfortunate use of language. The term deformed or disfigured was being thrown around a lot, and these are words that I don't really tend to like to use because, for me, the word deformed has an association with not being formed correctly or being half-formed, and it's like, I don't know if you know Richard III, but the very famous monologue where he refers to himself as half-formed, that was written in Shakespearean times, and for me that is just a real indication of how dated that language is. So yeah, it was something that at first I was like, this is so lovely, they're standing up for me, and that I still feel like that, so grateful to have people that are standing in my corner. But there was something about it that just didn't sit right, and that's what kind of led me to speak out about it.
And Heather, it's language around this is really important, actually, isn't it? And just sort of explain sort of how hurtful words can be, even as we're hearing their words which were actually not put forward in a hurtful way, in a supportive way, but just incorrect.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it is really important to understand what those words can do and how loaded they are. So any word like, you know, to use to describe someone with a visible difference, like deformed or abnormal, abnormality, all of these words are loaded, and as Robert said, they imply inferiority or somehow being less. So what we suggest as a charity in our campaigning work is that people really use words that are more objective, so describe the condition as it is. So say a scar or a skin condition or a birthmark, or if a general term that we prefer is visible difference, because it's much more objective. It describes what is. It doesn't add that layer of negativity.
And Robert, this isn't, you know, an isolated incident. I was just looking at the numbers. 1 in 5 people across the UK identify as having a visible difference of some sort, whether that's a scar or a birthmark. So it's really important that we not only get the language right, but we are happy to talk about it, because I think sometimes that's the issue, isn't it? People worry about getting it wrong and then get it wrong.
Absolutely, and I think, well, our lovely campaigners at Changing Faces, we're a really open bunch, and a lot of us do use social media, and we're more than happy to guide people if they are stuck. But on that note, I think it's really important to mention that somebody with a visible difference doesn't owe you their life story when you see them. So this is on their terms. If they don't quite feel comfortable talking about it today because they're having a hard day, that's okay as well. Yeah. But it's never rude to ask a question. It's because I think stares can be quite loaded in a way. You don't know what's going on behind the eyes, and a lot of the time it's very innocent. It's wanting to know what happened. It's a feeling of, oh, that person's really strong and brave, but through non-verbal communication, you can't kind of come to that realisation. So I think it is important to, if you catch yourself staring, for me, I'll never be offended if somebody says, I was just wondering what happened, and it just kills any negativity and it becomes a positive conversation.
Well,
where
it's part of your story as well. It's part of who you are.
Yeah, is what I say. And with the visible difference as well, I'm never offended if somebody wants to refer to my scar as a scar, because it is a scar. It's been a scar for like 29 years of my life, and it will continue to be a scar. And there's nothing offensive about scarring. Scars are great. Well, I'm a bit biased, obviously. But,
In terms of the acting profession, it's such a visual medium, isn't it? Is this something you've come across before? And how do you feel about that? You're in House of the Dragon, one of the biggest TV shows around, and actually this has come off the back of it. Is it disappointing for you? Were you hoping we'd kind of moved on from this?
So I like to turn things around to be in a very positive light. And I think from this, what's been so positive is the conversation that it started. And it's very important to keep these conversations going, because we really do struggle with representation in the media as people with visible differences. There are not enough people out there, which is why people react with shock when they see people with visible differences in the street. We are not on the telly or in the media enough, and when we are, a lot of the time it's a very negative portrayal.
Yeah, and I mean, Heather, this goes beyond just about, you know, feeling upset that a certain word has been used. It can have longer-term implications, kind of, you know, people not wanting to go out, depression. It's really important that we tackle this for mental health reasons too.
It absolutely is. So as a charity, we provide support services for people who are struggling with confidence and self-esteem, counselling, with lots of online resources, hints and tips to support people. But we also campaign, and that's where this work is so important, the representation work, because we're trying to really improve understanding of visible difference in the population. If we have representation in people who are not in the villain role, then that will really help.
So good to have you both with us this morning. Robert and Heather, thank you for talking about it. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.